NIO stock is up 5% this week. It's up 20% in the last month and over 120% in the last 3 months. So NIO stock is looking bullish right now. It's almost about to break out above this 771 level. It's just fallen short this week, but it's looking good for a potential retest next week and a breakout. So in this video, I'm going to conduct a price analysis for NIO stock and offer my thoughts and opinions on whether you should buy this stock. Let's take a look. I'd like to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/DavidB for the 5 best stocks to buy now. Use my special link to get $200 off their epic annual subscription. Now, if you find value in my analysis of NIO stock today or other stocks on my channel, you may also find value in my email newsletter. If you subscribe, I'll share with you professional trading tips to help you make more profits trading stocks. Link down below, check it out. So last week, NIO was up 5.34%. And looking on screen at the weekly chart, we can see this EV stock has been trending up since April 2025. It's broken this trend line here, and in the last 2 weeks, it is beginning to test this key level of 771. Now, last week's bar did break this key level of 771. The high last week was just over $8, so very bullish. However, it didn't close above 771. It actually ended up closing at 770, pretty much on the limit. So we're almost getting confirmation that the buyers are committed to take control. But potentially we need to wait another week for confirmation that the buyers do want to take this price above this key level here and up towards $16. Zooming out on the weekly chart for NIO stock, we do know that this stock has been bearish for 4 to 5 years, since the all-time high back here in January 2021 of around $66. It has been bearish, it has been sold off heavily. And you can see since that peak of $66, it eventually found support after being sold off down at around $11. It broke back up for a short time, reaching that peak of $25 in June 2022 before it was sold off again, only to find support at this lower level of $7. Once again, it moved back up to create this significant price peak of $16, and that was formed in July 2023. NIO was sold off again over a number of months and eventually found support down at $3.60, another key level for this EV stock. It did have a counter trend back up to create this key level of 771 before once again sellers took control. It was sold off, and eventually this significant price trough was formed in April this year. Now, since that time, NIO has been looking very strong. It has been looking bullish. The buyers have come back in around about this $3 level. They have been buying up the stock, and it has been moving up since April. So we've almost got 5 to 6 months of strong price action. Now, as discussed before in previous videos, we can see on the chart when it does trend down, it ends up having a counter trend for a short period, only to find resistance and fall away. And it's done this multiple times. There's a counter trend here, June 22, counter trend here, July 23, and more recently in September 2024. And you can see right now where we are in the current price action. Once again, it has broken the confirmed downtrend line, confirming the trend is changing. But right now, it's on the limit. It's just at this key level here of 771. So it's not clear yet, it's not absolutely clear whether this is a counter trend to the bigger bear trend or it's going to be the start of a medium to long-term trend for NIO stock. Effectively, the price action has done this. It's fallen away, buyers have come back in, it's met resistance, fallen away again. There's been a counter trend, another big sell-off, counter trend back up, another big sell-off, and a counter trend back up. So right now, we're in this grey area. It does look as if now NIO is looking bullish. You can see that it has created a number of higher lows as it's broken this trend line. So there is a medium-term trend there confirmed, but I'm still a bit cautious in terms of a long-term position for a trade. There is the risk that it does reach resistance here. The buyers aren't committed. There's too much selling, and what will happen in the next few weeks is that it might fall away and test this level again. That is possible, but looking at this chart, it does look more likely that this level is going to be broken in the next few weeks, and that would be the trigger to get that confirmation and that confidence that NIO is going to start moving up sustainably, and it's going to move towards this level of $16, which is corresponding to the peak back here. Zooming in on the weekly chart, I want to discuss this trend as it has unfolded since this significant low of $3, which, look, by the way, this $3 does look as if it is the low for NIO. It does look as if it's a significant trough. We can see since April 2025, price has been moving up in stages. It moved up in 3 weeks, 4 weeks here. The sellers came in, they had a really good go, but they could only get the price back down to this higher base of 334 before the buyers came back in, seeing value in this stock, and then it broke the trend line. So we had 1, 2, 3 strong weeks up during July, broke through that confirmed downtrend, confirming the trend was changing. It was sold off for a couple of weeks. There was selling pressure in this first week of August before very bullish week in that week afterwards. NIO moved up, made that peak around 680 before a couple of weeks of indecision, a little bit of selling pressure, a reversal bar in this week, September 2025, and then it moved up in the last couple of weeks. So you can see here, if I zoom in, this bar here, that high was 760. So it got really close to this key level here of 771. Now, 2 weeks ago, there was some selling pressure. So once again, it created a higher high in that week. It went up to 768, but actually closed low. So some selling pressure as it got near to that key level of 771. And of course, the current week that's just closed, there was more buying. So buyers did come back in. It opened around 714 and created a peak of just over $8. So for a time, it did break through the key level, but the close is the critical thing. Some people say amateurs open the market and the professionals close the market. So, the pro money wasn't absolutely committed yet. It's a strong close, it's a bullish bar, it's just on the absolute limit. So for confirmation, you may want to wait an extra 1 to 2 weeks before we see a nice green bar closing well above 771. A close around $8, $8.20 would be a really bullish signal. Looking a bit closer at NIO last week on the daily chart, we can see that on the Monday, price did reverse. More bullish action on the Tuesday. It did break 771, closed underneath. There was more buying on the Wednesday. It closed just under that level. Thursday was very bullish. That was when last week's peak was created at just over $8.02. It did close above on the Thursday, looking promising for the overall week to close above 771. But there was selling pressure on the Friday, and you can see that a low was created around 750. It ended up closing just underneath, and that created the overall bullish bar last week, but the close was just underneath that 771 target. So if you're looking for strong confirmation to enter NIO stock, you may want to wait to next week or maybe 2 weeks until we see that weekly close above that strong level. That will confirm that buyers are committed to taking this stock higher and possibly to challenge $16. And your patience will be well rewarded for a medium-term trade. You can see on screen an entry around about $8 would give you 100% upside potential to that level of $16. And with a 15% stop loss, you could put your stop under the low of 2 weeks ago. So you've got an overall risk to reward of 6.44. Even if it does find some short-term resistance around $10, there's still a good profit on offer for this trending stock. So overall, NIO's looking really good. Clearly, there's a medium-term trend in place. It is trending up. You can see clearly each time it makes a new high, it pulls back. There is some pressure, but the sellers cannot push it down. So we've got a higher base here, a higher base here, and another higher base here. So it does look as if now it's going to break this level in the next few weeks, and that will confirm an entry for this EV stock, offering a great trade opportunity over the medium term. Or if you're a long-term investor and you like this stock, it does look as if now a longer-term trend is starting to unfold. And of course, with the target of this company becoming profitable by the end of Q4, if the numbers start to improve, the fundamentals start to improve in the next 2 quarters, this stock could really soar. If they hit profitability by Q4 or even Q1 next year, there's a really strong chance that big money is going to come into this stock and it's going to be starting to trend towards the previous all-time high. So watch this stock closely. It's looking really good right now. Perhaps not quite ready, but definitely worth your attention. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you bullish on NIO? Did you enter last week? How much are you holding? What are your price targets? I'd love to hear your feedback. Thanks for watching.